snippets. Yeah. Okay, so we are going to start. Um, and so everyone is on mute. I will do this walkthrough. I will share the screen and take you through the website. And I hope to finish in 30 to 40 minutes, which will give us a lot of time for people who have questions. I am expecting a fair number of questions because what we are trying to do, like for those who have seen the Hatke video, it's very Hatke or very disruptive, very, I don't think it's been done before. When you do something like that, there are bound to be questions. So there's no stupid questions. So, feel free to ask questions, but after the walkthrough. Okay, so with that said, I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, and let me navigate to TISeed. Okay, so we are now on the home page, and what you'll see here is a kind of recurring theme that the youth need to claim their future. So a lot of you are probably under 45. Probably there's nobody here on this thing who's over 45 except me. So the thing is that um, there is a lot of youth inequality. That means 25% of the people around the world are between 18 to 45, but only 2% of them are in decision-making positions. Like a CEO or a politician or somebody like that, right? So in some ways, and we can explore later why, this I think is a big problem. Because your current leaders who are old are failing you. So if you don't claim your future, then this can be a problem for the youth. Because there are many things, as you know, there's a lot of pain in the world. A lot of people like me, if I'm 67, maybe if I'm lucky, I'll live another 30 years. Uh, but in 30 years, probably nothing much will happen, like climate change, this, that, and the other, even if we carry on doing whatever we are doing. So inequality, climate change, poverty, all these kind of things may not be such a problem, but they're slowly building up, right? So at some stage, if you guys are my age, then there may be problems. And if you then live till 90 or 100, then there'll probably definitely going to be some problems unless we change. Okay, so for that said, so you can join the WhatsApp Prosperity Circle. I'll change this to be the, playlist of the walkthrough thing. So very quickly, we will just listen to these videos. Okay, so we'll do the opportunity video. Right now, at this very moment, billions of people are waiting for solutions that don't exist yet. AI and new technologies have unlocked possibilities we've never seen before. These opportunities need visionaries, they need builders, they need innovators, and they need dreamers to turn them into reality. That is why I created TIC, a knowledge hub where anyone who wants to make an impact can start today. Whether you are young or old, dreaming big or small, TIC's resources can help you. For exceptional teams ready to build trillion-dollar impact companies, TIC can connect you to purpose-driven investors who provide $500K with seed funding with minimal dilution. They also give strategic support, positioning you for significant follow-on funding of $10 million or more. The opportunity to improve billions of lives is real. The tools to create massive impact while building wealth are within reach. Explore TIC, access the knowledge. Let's create the trillion-dollar impact companies that will shape tomorrow together. Okay. One, I wanted to clarify trillion-dollar impact. So there have been questions people have asked me, how are you going to measure impact and what is trillion-dollar impact? So I just want to clarify that what I'm talking about is creating a company which in 20 years will have a market cap of $1 trillion. right? There are very few companies even now which have a market cap of $1 trillion, but 20 years later, $1 trillion will not be as much as it is today. And also, I feel that AI is a really transformative force, just like internet was in 2000. So there were lots of companies which got created because of the internet, like PayPal, Google, eBay, Amazon, and you can keep on naming companies, right? So which now are very large companies, right? So I believe that in by 2044, which is 20 years from now, there will be a whole slew of new companies which are $1 trillion market cap plus, and many of them will use AI as a transformative force, and a lot of these will be impact companies. Okay, so that's the hypothesis, right? Now, one of the key things here is this concept of a global youth platform. Because if the youth have to get mobilized, whether it's to create $1 trillion companies, whether it's to do data-based activism or whatever it is, then you need a platform where they can come together. So there are things like Slack, there's Discord, there's Quora, there's X, there's Facebook, so many platforms. So one can say, why do we need another platform? But that's a good question, but it's something that we can talk about in the Q&A also. But the key part is that these platforms are not optimized for youth connectivity. Similarly, you can see that there is a platform called AARP in the US, which is the American Association of Retired Persons, AARP, which is focused only on senior citizens, right? So now also you'll notice on the website, there are lots of these Notebook LM reviews of global youth platforms. So for those of you who haven't used Notebook LM, you should try it. It's a fantastic tool. And by the way, this entire website was created by me without any technical help. And just by using ChatGPT and Claude, so on and so forth. And if you look at this website, you can try it on your mobile. It is mobile responsive. It has lazy loading, smooth scrolling, and whatever else, SEO and things, and all done by me, who's not tech savvy. I type with one finger, and I'm 67. So I just want to tell you that when I talk about the power of AI, if I can do this, just imagine what people like you all who are young and who've kind of grown up a little bit with this technology, what all you can do. So the potential is just amazing. So this notebook review, so I fed in the source material, which is there here. You can look at it, to Notebook LM, and then it did an independent review of this idea, right? So all these are independent reviews. You'll see a lot of them in the thing. So that was my way of checking also whether what I've written, does it make sense or not, right? To an AI. Okay. So it seems it passed the AI test. Now, whether it will pass the youth test or the human test is to be seen. Okay. Then moving on to this, the Youth Impact Manifesto. So if you look at history, you have the US Declaration of Independence, you have the Communist Manifesto, there's something called from Freedom from Dictatorship to Democracy by a person called Gene Sharp, which is supposed to be responsible for the Arab Spring kind of movement, and so on and so forth. So I said, yeah, if we are saying that the youth must awaken, then maybe I should try to write a impact manifesto. So you can read that, it's there. Now, to implement the Youth Impact Manifesto, and probably in a non-violent way, because we are from the land of Mahatma Gandhi. So like you take India Against Corruption, it mobilized a lot of people, but there was no violence as such, I think, in a major way, but there was a lot of inconvenience. There were a lot of marches, rallies, activism, blah, blah, blah. So as far as possible, one should try and use the power of youth, like collect signatures, this, that, and the other, and use PR, use mass media, etc., to sort of get the message across and try and work in a blame no one, inspire everyone type of way, and resort to these rallies and candlelight marches only as a last resort uh, in there. Okay, so that's the thing. Then, in terms of how do you actually build this, and why is this a $1 trillion market cap opportunity? Yes, it may improve billions of lives, which is the impact part. So I don't need to measure impact in some complicated way. It just has it improved lives of a billion people. Right? Then it's great. Okay, so so the zero to seed is a fictional play just to illustrate how this journey of moving from something like really small, $2 trillion is possible. You may have read Zero to One by Peter Thiel. So this is just a five-act play. I'm not a great playwright, but you might find this useful. And then suppose you have this platform, how can you use it for what I call data-based activism? Right? So GYP kind of makes that possible. Okay. Now, if you take so all these are available to you as links: Youth Impact Manifesto, Zero to Seed, and the Climate Action Blueprint. I just want to spend a minute on this Climate Action Blueprint, right? So I don't know much about climate action in there, right? But by using AI and reading books and talking to a few people, I was able to put across this Climate Action Blueprint, which, if you talk to people who have been working for years on climate action, I think they'll find this Climate Action Blueprint worth reading, worth thinking about, etc. Right? Now, this brings us to a very important point that earlier, if you were young, then people will say, what do you know? Yeah? You have no experience, right? But now if you use AI and you use experts, you can become very experienced very quickly, right? And because you don't have legacy baggage, at least when I was in IIT Mumbai, I used to think that old people are all, not all that great. And, I am very idealistic and I can change the world. And maybe to some extent I did. I think that same kind of fire should be there in a lot of youth. And now with AI and intelligent use of experts, you can do stuff. Now, an example of non-data-based activism is all this movement against fossil fuels, which was very good. I mean, it raised awareness of fossil fuels and all that and all that. But after a while, that awareness has been raised. Now what? Because actually trying to eliminate fossil fuels is a very long exercise once you get into the engineering and the stuff. So by now, whether you throw oil at Mona Lisa paintings or you do this, that, and the other, it's all useless. Okay, in some ways, you have to move on and focus on the right things, right? So what is the right thing in climate action? So you see that the short-term impact is by reducing consumption. So Mahatma Gandhi said that, there is enough in this world for every man's need, but there's not enough in this world for every man's greed. So if we keep consuming like fast fashion, plastics, electronics, disposable economy, etc., now that can be fixed, and this. So I'd encourage you to read the Climate Action Blueprint. Now, GYP is just one example. Okay, so TIC would welcome exceptional teams with $1 trillion aspirations from any domain, and I've actually given six, which and done starting point notes on each of those. So our vision is basically that TIC is very focused. We don't invest in non-impact. So I've already got a lot of people who have come to me and said, I'm doing this. This is very interesting. It'll make a lot of money, but it's not $1 trillion impact idea. And I said, no, then there are plenty of resources for you to go through. And you can go through this whole website and all, because there are plenty of resources which might stimulate your mind. And even if you're not impacting or doing $1 trillion impact idea, you can benefit from the resources on this website. Okay, but don't pitch to TIC because it'll be a waste of your time and my time, right? Unless you're pitching a trillion-dollar impact idea. Okay. And then we would do only one or two, maybe five, the max at any point in time. And therefore, our approach is not spray and pray, and we will be investing with uh, very minimal dilution. Right? Like, so we will be doing what's called a safe, but with no discount and no valuation cap. So if you've got a prototype, etc., your pitch is accepted, then we'll try and help you raise that $10 million, maybe at a $50 million valuation. In which case, our 500,000 will convert at $50 million, right? So that's hardly any percentage, right? Now, if you build a trillion-dollar company, then of course this our investment will make some money. But our main aim for all the purpose-driven investors, and just now it's only me in TIC. There's no band of people, but I have a lot of contacts. So if I agree that I'm going to be the lead investor, then the team can go around and raise money from other people that I connect with them with, and then they can use their own connections. And that is another important thing, that my role is just to be a catalyst. All the hard work will have to be done by the team. And I'll be announcing on LinkedIn pretty soon internship opportunities and EIR, like entrepreneurs in residence opportunities. And for activism, a shadow finance minister opportunity, right? So one of the internship opportunities has already been filled. The shadow finance minister, we are pretty close to closing, but you can. So I expect that we will have almost a dozen people who, because I want to limit it to 5 to 6 EIRs and 5 to 6 interns. The shadow finance minister will probably be independent, but take some of my bandwidth. So I don't want to like dilute my bandwidth too much. And then apart from interacting with me, these people can interact with each other, and we could move forward. Right. So you have the investment philosophy, and then the young teams advantage. So the young teams have advantage because they have natural fluency in emerging technologies, and they don't have the legacy thinking baggage. This only happens this way, right? The last thing is that if you are young, you do not need to be a founder to create impact. You can join a TI company, create wealth for yourself, and create a better world. What could be better, right? So there is, like, I was not a founder of X.com, which later became PayPal. But I think I made more wealth than many founders, right? So, so that's something to keep in mind. So that's the vision part of it. And then you have a little bit about me. I've not only done PayPal, I've done some other disruptive innovations in India and in Thailand. I've been endorsed by quite a few people. And why I started TISeed was basically it represents my commitment to helping exceptional young teams transfer trillion-dollar impact ideas into reality, et cetera, et cetera. Now, just because I get involved and the team gets involved with me, the chance of failure is still high. For those of you who follow cricket, trying to do a trillion-dollar impact company is like hitting 6 sixes in 1 over, which is a pretty rare feat. It's not for the faint of heart. You can try. There could be outcomes in between. You may not reach your trillion-dollar impact, but you would do 100 million or a billion, which is not bad. But the aim has to be that, yeah, we're going to build a trillion-dollar impact company. Okay.